On Friday, Democratic California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a gun control law that is pretty much the first of its kind in the nation. Now, that law allows private citizens to sue anybody who sells illegal assault weapons or parts that can be used to build weapons and guns without a serial number. Remember those ghost guns? Well, the law requires damages of $10,000 per weapon. It is set to go into effect in just a few months from now in January. Now, if this sounds familiar, that's because this law in California was modeled quite intentionally after the Texas abortion law, which authorizes private citizens to sue anybody who aids and abets an abortion. Well, the Supreme Court declined to block that law last December, ultimately reaching the Supreme Court, which could be the same result for this new law out in California. So for a closer look at all this, we're joined now by Sen Hertzberg, the California Democratic State Senator who authored the law, who also served as the State Senate Majority Leader from 2019 to this year. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it much.
All right, so let's link. First of all, walk us through the link between the California law and the Texas law. And obviously, this is California's attempt to, in one law, respond to two highly controversial Supreme Court decisions, one overturning Roe and the other one that basically let everyone carry a weapon in public for self-defense. So there's a lot of subtext here, but how do you see it?
Well, basically, if Texas is going to use this law to impact women's reproductive health, we're going to use it to save people's lives from these assault weapons. Now, let's be specific about the question that you asked. Your smart question. Look, I don't like the Supreme Court decision, but the truth of the matter in life is this. 5 justices of the Supreme Court make the law, period, end of issue. So they're devolving authority to states to give us more ability to figure out how to work our own issues. In California, we're deeply concerned about gun violence. We've passed over 107 gun bills, and everybody says, God, you guys are crazy with all your gun bills. Well, they work. Our gun violence in California are down by 50% compared to other states. We're the lowest in the country. So our question is, okay, can we be inventive and creative in these laboratories of democracy to use this faulty thinking and apply it to saving lives? And it's that simple. And the only thing I would share with you is that when we did our homework, we looked at the Supreme Court case, and there was an entity called the Gun Violence, the Firearms Policy Institute, that basically says, oh, God, if you do this for abortions, they're going to do it for guns. So the Supreme Court had this issue directly in front of their noses when they made this decision. And so we were very, very cautious to craft this in a way to make sure it was consistent with how the Supreme Court thinks. Don't like their thinking, but if that's the way it is and that's the law of the land, we in California are going to figure out a way to use it to save lives and to prevent gun violence. And
obviously the law in Texas and your law have their critics, because essentially at the heart of each law is the idea that the state is deputizing everyday people to be able to go out and sue. So whether you're suing because abortion, whether you're suing because of guns, it's basically helping to put enforcement power, critics say, more in the hands of residents than it is authorities like law enforcement or like the criminal justice system.
Right.
And even in California, the bill, and this is a strange marriage, critics include the ACLU and gun owners, because basically they're calling it a bounty system of sorts and calling it an attack on the Constitution because of this very issue. It's enforcement by citizens, not enforcement by government per se. What's your response to that? Because rarely do you see the ACLU and the gun crowd get together on an issue.
Believe me, I get that. There's no question about it. But look, here's the answer to that question. The ACLU is not wrong, except for one reason. They don't like the Supreme Court decision. But the Supreme Court decision is the law. This law has an automatic termination provision in it that says, because we're sensitive to their argument, if for some reason the Supreme Court overturns this thinking, the law doesn't go into effect, number one. Number two, we have all sorts of bounty systems where we use the eyes and ears and incentivize people. We offer all kinds of rewards when there's been a crime in a community. We have an amber system to try to get people to see the cars on the road that kidnap a kid. We've got all sorts of laws that exist where we enlist the public. And so the idea is, yes, this is a little unorthodox, no question. But you balance this against what we're trying to do is to stop gun violence. If this could be a chilling effect, then it's worth trying, right? I mean, it's not like we're trying to do something. It's a small issue. And by the way, there are all sorts of issues where you have similar laws in civil rights violations, in the Clean Air Act, and other kinds of structures like this, legal frameworks like this that exist in other laws, where government has an important public policy that it's trying to enforce.
Well, obviously, this could be, as you well know, this will make it up. Someone will object and sue. It'll make its way to the Supreme Court, and this essentially will become a test of whether the Supreme Court's thinking on this issue is consistent. So come back in a few months as this thing works its way up the legal ladder, and we will talk more then. California State Senator Bob Hertzberg, thanks so much. Appreciate your time and your insight. Fascinating legal maneuver here. Have a good morning.
It is. Thank you so much.